Today's story is one of those moments. Imagine standing by a riverbank, the sun shimmering on the water as containers are opened and life itself spills out. Millions of fish, amphibians, and insects darting into their new home. At first glance, it feels like nature at its most beautiful, as though we are watching a river being reborn. But here's the twist that shocks everyone. This river was not given to us by nature. It was built by human hands. And behind this astonishing act is a man named Ibrahim, whose vision has both inspired hope and sparked controversy across the globe. To understand the weight of what Ibrahim has done, you have to understand the silence he was trying to fight. For centuries, rivers have been the lifelines of human existence. They fed our crops, carried our boats, gave us water to drink, and supported animals that nourished us. They were places of stories, songs, and community. Yet today, many of these rivers are gone. Where water once flowed, there are now cracked riverbeds. Where children once splashed and played, dust rises in the heat. Where fishermen once brought home nets filled with life, now there is only emptiness. Ibrahim has walked along these forgotten banks. He has seen mothers tell their children stories of rivers that no longer exist. He has watched animals vanish as their habitats disappeared. And it was in that silence, in that grief, that the seed of his idea was planted. If we cannot save every dying river fast enough, what if we build new ones to protect life before it's too late? What he built is not just a channel of water. It is a carefully designed system, made with the care of someone who knows that life itself is fragile. Engineers carved out winding paths for water to flow. Wetlands were created to act as nurseries for young fish and frogs. Reeds and plants were carefully placed along the banks to provide shade and oxygen. Every detail was considered, from the movement of currents to the way nutrients would circulate. This was not about pouring concrete and calling it a river. This was about creating the conditions for an ecosystem to breathe, to grow, to become alive. And when the day finally came to release millions of creatures into this man-made river, the world watched something that felt almost like magic. It was as if, in a single moment, life had been given a second chance. But Ibrahim's river is not just about science or spectacle. It is about humanity's relationship with nature. His message is deeply human. The rivers we once took for granted are vanishing, and with them, a part of our own story is disappearing. This artificial river is not a replacement for nature. It is a shelter, a refuge, a lifeboat. Think about it this way. When a storm destroys a town, people take refuge in shelters until they can rebuild. Ibrahim believes animals deserve the same chance. His fake river is a shelter for creatures who cannot wait for damaged ecosystems to heal. It is a place where life can hold on, even as the world struggles to repair what it has broken. Of course, not everyone agrees with him. Critics say that rivers cannot be manufactured, that animals deserve to live in the wild, not in carefully managed systems. They warn that creating artificial ecosystems could give governments an excuse to destroy real rivers, thinking they can simply build new ones. And they ask difficult questions. What if the artificial balance collapses? What happens to the creatures then? These are not small concerns, and even Ibrahim admits he does not have every answer. But when asked why he still chose to act, his response was simple and deeply human. Doing nothing felt worse. Watching life disappear and standing by felt unbearable. What makes this story so powerful is not just the river itself, but what it represents. For years, many of us have felt powerless in the face of environmental destruction. We recycle, we save water, we plant trees, yet the headlines remind us every day that species are vanishing, forests are burning, and rivers are drying up. Ibrahim's project may not solve everything, but it proves that one person's decision to act can create a ripple that the whole world notices. Standing by his river, watching millions of animals find a home, people cried. Some cried out of joy, some cried out of doubt, but all were moved. Because in a time of despair, they were watching hope take shape in front of them. Perhaps the most shocking truth about this story is not that a man built a river and filled it with life, but that we have reached a point where such an idea is necessary. We, as humans, have taken so much from the natural world that we are now forced to recreate the very systems we destroyed. Ibrahim's river forces us to face this reality. We cannot undo the past, but we can still choose to act for the future. And maybe that's the real lesson here. It's not about whether the river is natural or artificial. It's about whether we are willing to take responsibility and do something before it's too late. So where do we stand? Some will call Ibrahim a visionary, others will call him reckless. But perhaps what matters most is not the labels, but the questions his project forces us to ask. What does it mean to protect life? How far are we willing to go to preserve the species we share this planet with? And do we have the courage to try, even if the outcome is uncertain? Ibrahim's river may be fake, but the life within it is real. The hope it gives is real. And the challenge it sets before us, to rethink conservation in a world where time is running out, is very real. And so I ask you, what do you think? Should humanity embrace bold experiments like this, or should we focus only on protecting what remains of the natural world? Is this the beginning of a new path, or a dangerous detour? Share your thoughts in the comments, because this story isn't just about Ibrahim. It's about all of us, and the choices we make for the generations to come. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Because our world is full of stories like this, stories that challenge us, inspire us, and remind us that while rivers may dry up, our responsibility to protect life must never run dry.